Man, I just noticed something very different on CBC. Rose Mary Barton featured a full speech of Pierre Poilievre, a full announcement without interrupting him on her show. That's something I have never seen in the last probably 2 years, minimum 1 year. I have never seen Rose Barton feature Pierre Poilievre without interrupting him or saying something to defend the Liberals while he was talking. Take a look at this video.
Is rewarded. Food and homes are affordable, streets are safe, borders are secure, and everyone is united under our proud flag. These are things that all Canadians want, whether they voted for us or voted for Liberals. In fact, the Liberals made a lot of really wonderful promises. And we wanted them, the good promises, the ones we agreed with, to succeed. And that's why we collaborated in the spring session to help get things done that we wanted done. Even though they were often too small and too late, we wanted to be a helpful part of the solution. And we want for the country to succeed. And that's why we need to take a very careful look at Mr. Carney's many promises and compare them to the results. Do the words match the deeds? Let's go through them one by one. First, he promised the fastest growing economy in the G7. He's delivered the fastest shrinking economy in the G7, with the second highest unemployment, the worst household debt, and the worst housing prices. That's not what Canadians voted for. He said that he should be judged by the prices at the grocery stores. Anybody who's been to the grocery store would judge him very badly. In fact, not only have food prices not come down, they are rising faster today than when he took office 6 months ago. He promised to build, baby, build. And ever since, it has been block, baby, block. Let's start with home building. He said he would double home building. And only a few months ago, his own housing agency says home building will fall by 13%. It's already fallen by half in Toronto and the greater GTA, where the homes are most in need of building. Today, he's going to roll out a brand new bureaucracy. You know, the funny thing is we all agree that Canada has everything you need for affordable homes. In fact, housing should be dirt cheap because we have the most dirt to build on. We have the builders, we have the trades, we have the companies, they have the money. They'd love to get building. What's standing in the way is bureaucracy. And so Mark Carney's solution is to add another bureaucracy that will only slow things down. It took him 6 months to set up a new office, an office that has not built a single new home. He promised to build nation-building projects at, quote, unimaginable speeds. Well, it's been 6 months. He has not granted a permit for a single new nation-building project. And last week, we saw the display of a prime minister announcing that he was going to refer to a new bureaucracy, a series of 5 projects that had already been approved. Some of them were already under construction. There is a rumor that next week the Prime Minister will announce that he's considering approving construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway. He promised elbows up, and where did the elbows go from there? The elbows are down. He has backed down again and again and got absolutely nothing in return. This was after he promised that he would negotiate a win with the Americans and have a deal by July 21st. Here we are, the middle of September, no deal, and the tariffs, the American tariffs on Canada have doubled since the Prime Minister took office, promising that he could, quote, handle Trump. That's not what Canadians voted for. He said he would spend less, and yet his deficit spending looks to be 100% bigger than what Justin Trudeau left behind. He said there would be more investment. Remember that? Spend less, invest more. $62 billion of net investment has left since he became Prime Minister, in what the National Bank says is the biggest net outflow of investment in any 5-month period in Canadian history. He promised that after 10 years of Liberal government driving up costs and crime and chaos, that he would be different. And yet, sadly, everything is worse. Unemployment is worse. The cost of living is worse. Home building is worse. Divisions are worse. The tariffs are worse. Crime is worse. Immigration is worse. That is not what Canadians voted for. What we are getting from Mark Carney is the same Liberal bait and switch. Say one thing and do the opposite. But you know something? We're not giving up. We're going to work to turn things around. We'll work with anybody from any party in order to make this session a success for the Canadian people. That's why we were so cooperative in helping the things pass that we agreed with in the spring session, and it's why we'll work even harder in the fall session. We will oppose things we're against, support things we're for, but we will also propose solutions.
Rosemary Barton, she's not stupid. She's aware that Pierre Poilievre might actually bring a lot of views to CBC. That's for sure. Pierre Poilievre would have went on TV, like on CBC, and actually defended himself against what the Liberals were saying in their lies during the election. Their lies that they were spewing and repeated by the media. I think if Pierre would have went on TV more often and defended against these lies and, pushed out truths, when you force the Liberal media to say Pierre's a liar, you grab control of the narrative by doing that. And it forces them to say something else, to defend themselves. You always need to push for the Liberal media to be on the defense. And the fact that Rosemary Barton featured Pierre Poilievre and didn't interrupt him to defend, even afterwards, she didn't defend the Liberals. She says that Pierre Poilievre is speaking in a very different tone. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thanks for watching.